Tonight at 6 on Alaska's News Source, as the DOJ receives additional Epstein documents, Senator Lisa Murkowski comments on what's been released.
And we're giving you a first alert to the extreme wind and snow headed to Alaska in the next 48 hours. I'll break down the warnings already in effect.
We could still lose it. We could still lose the whole thing. One more big storm could do it.
History made centuries ago lost. We now know Typhoon Halong swallowed up feet of shoreline at a western Alaskan archaeological site.
You're watching Alaska's News Source.
I don't believe that they have complied with the law.
No, I don't like.
Senator Lisa Murkowski comments on the release of the Epstein files, saying she's not satisfied with what the public has, or rather, hasn't seen so far. We'll hear a longer version of her reactions to the recent releases. But first, let's hit some weather. After weeks of frigid temperatures and no snow in South Central Alaska, we've got snow coming down in Anchorage. And that snow is just one part of what this storm will bring from southwest to the southeast in the next few days. And we've got Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry tracking the storm and the conditions we need to prepare for. Melissa.
Yeah, Augusta, pretty extreme conditions from hurricane-force wind gusts to heavy snow up to 2 feet in some places. Let's get right to those impacts again that you do want to start preparing for now before the storm really starts to kick in heading into tomorrow. Starting in southwest, it is blizzard conditions that we're seeing for you tonight into tomorrow. 5 to 9 inches of snow, gusts to 60 miles per hour. Into south central, 2 to 8 inches of snow. It'll be 3 to 5 near Anchorage, but add to that the strong wind and conditions do start to become pretty extreme. About 24 hours from now, that wind is going to increase as much as 80 miles per hour near Valdez and Thompson Pass, and up to 70 miles per hour for Palmer and Wasilla. Again, late Saturday into Sunday. For southeast, all this moisture is headed your direction tomorrow. It is heavy snow initially. Close to 1 to 2 feet is what you should expect from Juneau north. Unfortunately, that is going to transition to rain from Juneau south. We're talking heavy snow followed by heavy rain. Right now, temperatures at 10 degrees in Anchorage. That light snow coming down. It's fluffy and it's light, so it is going to accumulate quickly. Back to 32 below with dry conditions in Fairbanks. 13 with light snow in Palmer. Ketchikan still dry tonight, sitting at 19 degrees. Again, those warnings widespread from blizzard warnings in the Kuskokwim Delta to high wind warnings here in South Central and winter storm warnings pushing into southeast. You can see that storm pushes right across northern Gulf Coast, bringing all of that moisture from southwest into southeast. That snow in Anchorage, it continues overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning with high temperatures topping out in the mid-teens. And Augusta, I'll have a closer look at that extended forecast coming up next.
All right, Melissa, much to come on that. Thanks for tracking those details. And now a suspect is in custody this week following a shooting at a Fairbanks Safeway on December 15th that left one person injured. Fairbanks police announced that Devontae Thomas Brown was arrested Tuesday and charged with assault and robbery. That arrest came 8 days after the shooting. Deputy Chief Richard Sweet says it now appears this meeting was planned.
It appears that the two of them had met. It wasn't a random meeting. It sounds like they either had communicated prior to that or had in some way knew each other enough that they were meeting up for something, or whatever it was. And so that with knowing each other, that it's not a random encounter.
This investigation is ongoing. Any community members who might have more information are asked to contact Fairbanks Police. Alaska's News Source reached out to the Fairbanks Public Defender's Office, which is currently listed as Brown's attorney, but we have not heard back for comment. And more than 1 million newly discovered Epstein files could take weeks to release. That's the latest from the Justice Department, which missed its December 19th deadline. Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski became the lone Republican demanding an inspector general investigation. She told our political reporter Will Courtney in this week's Alaska Political Pipeline podcast why she believes the DOJ did not comply with the law.
Questions: if the IG does not find that, or does find that what has been released does not follow the legislation that you helped pass, what's next? What happens after that?
Well, this is a problem. This is a problem when you have the administration that knows what the law is. The law has been clearly outlined, and they fail to follow it. And it's not just with what we're seeing with the release of the Epstein files. And so this is where Congress, and again, you and I have had this conversation in this same room before, about this is where Congress needs to step it up. Congress needs to say, nope, you are the executive branch, but that doesn't mean that you are the sole branch of government in this country. That you not only legislate, but you adjudicate. No. We have got to challenge the administration when they either cross the threshold into our jurisdiction under Article 1, or if they fail to follow the law. And that requires us as lawmakers to push back and say, no, I may have voted for you. I may respect what goes on in the administration, but on this issue, what you're doing is not right, and it needs to be challenged.
If you want to listen to that full conversation with Senator Murkowski, tune into the latest edition of Alaska's Political Pipeline. We've got that available on our website, mobile app, and wherever you listen to podcasts. When former Typhoon Halong hit the southwest coast of Alaska back in October, the damage was severe. Homes were lost, entire villages evacuated. And now that the emergency has passed, our Eric Sowell tells us about Halong's impact to one of Alaska's most important archaeological sites.
Well, most of our knowledge about Yupik culture before contact comes from that site.
The Nunalak site, an archaeological dig near the village of Quinnahock.
It was a rescue project.
When archaeologist Rick Kinect began working on this 16th century multi-room house, he was trying to stay ahead of the erosion that was consuming the site.
The normal rate of erosion was about 3 feet a year.
Since 2009, residents of Quinnihock and archaeologists from the University of Aberdeen in Scotland have rescued over 100,000 artifacts.
This is a world-class collection. Any museum in the world would be very happy to have it. What makes it special is the fact that it was frozen in permafrost for all this time. And it's preserved all these things that we don't normally see in an archaeological site.
Preserving items of wood, leather, and grass. But then the permafrost melted.
The scary thing is it's not only makes these sites vulnerable to erosion, but after the permafrost melts, these things start to decay. They start to rot.
Impacting more than Alaska.
That's happening all over the northern world right now. So it's the entire fossil and archaeological record of the circumpolar north that's under threat.
When the 2024 dig season ended, things were looking good.
Last summer, we were far enough ahead of it that we took a breath and tried to catch up on the cataloging and conservation. And we had about a 30-foot buffer of material we'd already excavated. I figured, okay, 30 feet, that should hold it for a couple of years. And it didn't. In just one night, we lost not only that 30 feet, but another 30 feet. 60 feet of shoreline were lost to the sea in one night.
The remnants of former Typhoon Halong hit the southwest coast of Alaska.
That was catastrophic.
Volunteers rushed to the beach and rescued over 1,000 items. All of the site on the seaside of the Red Line was washed away, along with valuable information.
Being an archaeologist is like being a detective. You want to know where all the clues are in a room or in a house to reconstruct what happened there.
Plans have been made to try and rescue more artifacts this coming spring.
We'll go back as soon as it thaws and look up in the high grass because we know that the waves completely inundated the site. And we're pushing great big chunks of sods, ripped mass, and drift back about a good 100 feet.
Without proper conservation treatment, any exposed pieces are in danger.
Especially wooden pieces, when they dry out in the sun and in the air, they'll crack and fall to pieces very quickly.
There is no way to know how much history has been lost to Halong, and not just at Nunalak.
What breaks my heart is that I know that with a typhoon that size, sites like this probably were totally wiped out without ever being recorded.
What started as a rescue mission 17 years ago remains one today.
We could still lose the whole thing. One more big storm could do it.
Racing to preserve the largest collection of pre-European contact Yupik culture items in the world.
It's like a museum on fire, and we're just running in, grabbing what we can to save what we can.
Eric Soule, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.